Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4 and today's material is about problems in translation. Let me introduce my team. My name is Distia Hanandari and my team is Dinda Dwi Rizkiyani dan Sarah Anjani L. Okay, first of all, what are the problems of translation? Common challenge in translation include knowing about a variety of features such as the language structure, which differs between language. For example, a simple English sentence has a subject, a verb, an object such as she eats chicken. And next, I want to explain about lexical difference. Lexical difference? All language change over time and vary according to place and social setting. We can observe lexical variation, difference in words and phrases, by comparing the way English is spoken in different places and among different social groups. And next, due to the semantic features of language, the meanings of words, their ability to combine with other words, their usage, and their place in lexical system of language to concur of for the most part. All the ideas expressed by words coincide in most cases, so the means expressions differ.
The next slide is, what are examples of lexical differences? Sometimes words are used in different ways to name the same thing, such as for the American railroad tie and the British railway sweeper. Sometimes two different words are used, but their meaning is quite obvious, such as for the American luggage and the British baggage. Next, grammatical difference. We can observe grammatical variation, differences in the structure of words, phrases, or sentences by comparing the way English is spoken in different places and among different social groups. One of the most common differences between dialects is the way in which past tenses are formed. There are a variety of grammatical categories, which may or may not be expressed in different languages. Baker mentions 5 categories that commonly lead to difficulties in finding the equivalence during the process of translation. They are number, gender, person or the system of pronoun, tense, and voice. Next, grammatical difference. The grammatical design of the language is a significant piece of its general framework. No less significant, truth be told, than its dictionary. The components of the grammatical design, for example, attach type of emphasis and inference. Synthetic examples, word, request, and so forth serve to convey implications which are generally alluded to as grammatical or primary implications, as unmistakable from lexical implications. The delivery of these implications during the process of translation is a significant problem identifying with the overall problem of translation comparability, which should be considered final. Grammatical types of different language, without a doubt, very only occasionally correspond completely regarding the extent of their importance and capacity. As a rule, there is just incomplete comparability, that is the grammatical implications communicated by grammatical structures. However, apparently in this thing in this in this thing is indistinguishable of two different languages agree just in a piece of their importance and differ in a different pieces of similar meanings.
Okay, the next one is cultural difference. The cultural transactions problem are the results of the differences between language as a set of lexemes and meanings and as between cultures as way of expressing oneself, identify living style. Culture gives language different contexts. The same words passed from one culture to another obtain slightly or radically different meanings. Sometimes those meaning differences represent slight or intense value differences that could be critical in translations. Cultural problems in translation arise due to differences between the two languages in expressing identify and lifestyle. Translator will find it difficult to translate abstract or concrete concept in source of language or culture, completely unknown in the target language or culture. Naturalness of translation. A translation can be considered as natural translation if it sounds like not a translation. While an accuracy in translation means that the translation should be to communicate the meaning of the original message as precisely as possible in language into which he or she is translating. Naturalness test is done to know if the form of the translation is natural and the style appropriate. It can be done by asking a reviewer to read, making comments, and giving suggestions. It will be better if the reviewer is one who bilingual in source of language and target language. And last is culture and translation. Translation is converting process that helps people who speak other language to understand one another. It helps to connect cultures and eradicate the cultural difference that may be present. The translation is important to both language and culture because it enables better communication between two people. Cultural transactions is concept with competing definition coming from two broad fields, anthropology, ethnopedagogy, and cultural or post-colonial studies. In anthropology, it usually refers to the act of describing for members of one cultural community how members of another interpret in world and they place in it. The cultural translation problems are the results of the differences between language as a set of lexemes and meanings as between cultures as ways of expressing oneself, identify, and living style. So I think that's all from group 4. We were looking forward for suggestions or maybe questions. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.